Welcome to the Global Innovation Field Trip, MIT, Mexico. You know
Hey
what's
there.
very cool is having two back-to-back presentations with brilliant young female innovators. So we're very excited that you're with us today. And with that, if you guys would like to unmute, introduce yourselves, and then you have the floor.
Bienvenidas.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to be here. My name is Diana Renteria. I'm a student at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and I study biological engineering.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us today. We're both really excited to be here. My name is Ashley Tang. I'm also a junior studying at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and I'm studying mechanical engineering.
Thank you so much for the invitation and for the opportunity to be here. I'm Cynthia Fernandez. I'm a biotech engineer and I am a program director in Tecnológico de Monterrey in Mexico State campus. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to go ahead and share our presentation. All right, can you guys all see the slides? Perfect. So I'm going to talk to you guys, well, Ashley and I will be talking to you today about the partnership that we did between the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the United States and the Tecnológico de Monterrey in Mexico. And this was an online teaching lab partnership. So the main goal of our partnership was threefold. First is to foster international scientific collaboration, getting young minds together that are excited about STEM. Second was to inspire the next generation of scientists. So Ashley and I are both college students, and we taught these classes to high school students. And so we're just one step ahead in, I guess, the process of pursuing our careers than the high school students. And we wanted to really show them what they can do and hopefully get them excited about STEM. And then finally, we just wanted to form cross-cultural connections just between us and our co-teachers from the Tec de Monterrey, and also between us and the students. So the basic structure of our international teaching collaboration was two-week workshops for high school students throughout Mexico. So I believe we've had this partnership in previous years, but previously it was in person, and this year it had to be online. But we actually were able to have students from many different cities throughout Mexico this year because it was virtual in nature. The structure was co-taught between Ashley and I, and then two students from the Tecnológico de Monterrey. And unfortunately, they couldn't be here for this presentation, but they were super, yeah, we couldn't have done the presentations without them. And we had a lot of fun getting to know them and working with them. And then the two workshops that we taught were COVID-19 and biotechnology, and another one on MATLAB and circuitry. And so we're just going to talk to you guys a little bit about what we did during those workshops and the key takeaways that we learned for doing this type of collaboration in the future. So I taught the COVID-19 and biotechnology workshop, and as a biological engineering student, this was sort of a passion project for me. As the pandemic unfolded, just every day I was seeing on the news things happening that I had learned about in class, and seeing just the way that the technologies I was studying were being applied in the real world. And so I wanted to share that with my students. So we talked about several topics, including COVID-19 testing, modeling the spread of disease, vaccines, the immune system, immunology, all that kind of stuff. But the three takeaways that I had from teaching this workshop was, first, to make it relevant, second, to let students teach students, and third, to give students a chance to share what they learned. So it's hard to imagine that a class about a pandemic during a pandemic could possibly not be relevant. But one of the things that I mean by this is I wanted to show them how understanding fundamentally the science behind the technologies that are being used can help impact the choices that we make. So For example, we talked about 3 different types of COVID-19 testing, and I wanted them to see how knowing what each test is looking for and understanding how it works can help us decide when it's appropriate to use each type of test. And so I wanted to see that connection between the science and our everyday lives. The second thing that I learned to do was to let students teach students. And one way I did this was by incorporating memes. After we would learn a topic, I would post a relevant meme like this one and ask the students to try to explain how this meme relates to what we just learned. And I found that this was a great way for students to explain the concepts in their own words, and it was really fun. We all enjoyed it. But I also found unexpectedly that it helped make the entire class more interactive. After we started doing this, I found that when other students would have a question, students would be willing to jump in and answer because they know that they are learning something and they're excited to share that. So giving students an opportunity to teach other students is really important for having that interactive online environment that we all want to have in a classroom. And then finally, I learned that it's important to give students a chance to share what they learned. So our very last day was a project day where the students had to create a social media post that they might share with friends or family about something that they learned during the class. And I was blown away by how enthusiastic the students were for this day. They all did amazing projects. These are just a couple of them. And we ended up going several minutes over time for the class because they all spent a long time just sharing about their posters because they were really proud of what they had learned. And so giving students a chance to share what they've learned throughout is really important for making sure that everyone's engaged and also just letting students really engage with the material. So those are my 3 takeaways from this experience, and Ashley is going to talk about what she learned as she did the MATLAB and circuitry workshop.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Diana. So for the 2 workshops that I led, the students were able to learn a little bit about MATLAB, tiny machine learning, and also about circuitry. And the inspiration behind these workshops were just that these kind of just seem like really important skills for engineering careers. And they're also just like really fun and hands-on ways to kind of learn these technical skills. And so through the takeaways that I had were to 1, set a goal to build up to, 2, create an environment that makes students comfortable to ask questions, and 3, just to not be afraid to really challenge the students. So for setting a goal for students to work up to, I just found that this really kept students more engaged throughout the week since they kind of had an idea of how each of the concepts that we were learning in class each day was going to be useful in like a larger picture. And so by the end of the week, students presented MATLAB projects similar to like the one that is in this video over here. And it kind of just integrated everything that we learned throughout the week. And it was really fun seeing how that they would start to understand how each of the concepts could be integrated into their projects. And I think that also really made each of the lessons a little more relevant and interesting as well. All right, and then secondly, in terms of creating an environment that allowed students to be more comfortable to ask questions, it was really helpful for me in the first few days to kind of gauge what would allow students to feel more comfortable asking these questions, whether that was out loud in class or like via private chat or individually in breakout rooms at the end of the day during the free work time. And I personally found that students were super considerate of others, and so they actually preferred having the breakout rooms at the end to ask their questions. A lot of them didn't really want to take away time from their peers who might have picked up on some of the concepts a little faster, and so they preferred to get their questions answered one-on-one later. And I think finding a way that really just made people comfortable asking questions was important because this really allows like students to work at their best potential so that they have a solid foundation kind of going forward. And then lastly, I really learned, don't be afraid to challenge the students. We had students, as Diana was saying, from all over Mexico, and they had various backgrounds with coding. And so at first I was a little nervous to give them a project to kind of complete at the end. I wasn't sure if everyone was going to be able to complete it, but I really found that no matter how little background some of the students had, everyone was able to complete the project and they all turned out super, super great. And so while some of them looked a little bit more like the video from the previous slide, others looked kind of more like a moving version of the picture on the right here, which I thought was really equally as great and exciting that everyone was able to kind of complete a project in the end that they were proud about and show others. So in the end, Diana and I are super, super grateful to have had this opportunity to teach the students. It was really incredible, honestly, to just think about how much reach we had by teaching virtually. We were initially told that around 20 students usually sign up for these types of workshops when they're in person, just because of limitations given by location. But altogether, we were able to teach a combined number of 55 students from all over Mexico, including Guadalajara, Mexico City, and Monterrey, just to name a few, and from over 5 different schools. So it was really a silver lining of being virtual. And it was a great opportunity that we were both able to learn a lot from and that we both really, really loved. And also, please feel free to contact us if you would like to hear more about our experiences. We've listed our emails here. Yeah, and thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us. I just want to make a quick comment here. Some of my students, actual students, were enrolled in this experience, and I think it was amazing job you did. They were so into it, so engaged that they would like try to reschedule, like if they had like some meeting with me or some session to attend and do and work on this project. So I am I can give like examples that you've done a great job, and keep it on. I would like to know how to help to make this program grow, and it's been a great experience for these kids, and I think you should be really proud about what you've achieved.
Thank you so much for your feedback. It's really great to hear that the students really enjoyed the workshops, and we really loved working with them as well. So yeah, thank you.
Diana and Ashley, that was very inspiring to know how you have creatively used online technology to do your classes. We are doing similar thing in Mauritius. I'm from Mauritius, and we are using technology to train the youth. We have around 350 online with 10 teachers. But one challenge that we have is that they put the screen on and then they disappear. So did you have this challenge?
I think we were really fortunate. The group of students we had, as Arturo was saying, they just seemed very engaged. Personally, for me, I didn't require anyone to like turn on the camera if they didn't feel comfortable doing so, but it was nice to see people like typing in the chat, and then just like throughout the time just asking like, hey, can you raise your hand if this makes sense to you, or feel free to like ask questions if this doesn't. And so just kind of checking in with them just to make sure they're still there.
Great. That was really inspiring. I think we are going to share with our people here to tell them that they can always check whether there is someone behind the screen and they are still there and engaged. Excellent presentation. I'm really happy and inspired to see the memes from Diana. It was really like, something that the young generation would like to see. So congratulations, well done.
And just a reminder, as we told the last group of presenters, who you should meet, because you guys are making a fabulous, even expanded team. But as we told them, please come back again. We do this every quarter, and it's it will always be a platform to you come share what you're doing, share what you need. If there are things that you need for your program, you never know when the right person might be listening to hear what you need and be willing and ready to help. So always welcome back. The next gift is July 10th and 11th. So mark your calendars. And thanks so much.
Thank you again so much for having us. It was awesome to be able to share with you guys today.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Very
so
welcome.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Ashley, for everything you did. The project was all yours and it was great. You did such an amazing job.